Today, Glen Beck has a new rant. He's ranting about the road to serfdom, a warning, a warn the central economy kills freedom. And he's so excited about this idea. He has a Russian on and a Russian professor who read the book and all that and carrying on. And I'm not sure. Again, this guy hasn't finished no course of study. He doesn't have any kind of serious concepts. He has an audience over in his show. Like, I've been to one of these talk shows in Toronto, and I think this is what happens across the country. They have this big sign that's flash and applaud, so you have to applaud. And then they might put up a sign and you read it and everybody say, what's the problem? Obama. And then everybody says, and it looks like it, they're going on with this agenda. But basically, look at the Soviet Union and Germany. The Soviet Union has never been a free place. They seem to have been stopped in the Middle Ages, and because of the way their history and their past has been, they couldn't have been entrusted with democracy and capitalism. The system they had was the right system for them. You see, for example, when the Soviet Union fell and Russia and others start trying the democracy and capitalism thing, you see what started happening over there? You had one guy, he went into the oil industry, and in 1 year he became a billionaire. So that basically they don't have the type of restraint and ability to govern themselves. So he went and fleeced everybody and ended up being a billionaire in 1 year. Now, Germany, Hitler rose to power. A guy who don't seem to have no education, so I don't know why they chose him. Perhaps the times were hard. He come talking the fiercest, and so they appointed him. But basically, he held the view that whites were superior to everybody else, and he wanted to engineer a special blonde, blue-eyed, tall, person. And again, that shows that they're trivial over there. Now, in America today, we know this the bastion of capitalism and democracy. And remember that America came out of the Middle Ages with the religious fervor and the whole 9 yards. And may I say that the underpinning or the predicated system and culture that capitalism and democracy flourishes well on is Christianity. If somebody believes in the Bible, believes in God, and loves one another, they are right and poised and positioned to be capitalist and democratic. Because you see, the Bible teaches that you need to be honest. Look at Wall Street, for example. These guys are selling all kinds of things, and they almost brought down the whole world. Now, if they were believe in the Bible, believe in God, and love their fellow human beings, they will treat people's assets with more respect. They will not be using the games they do to cause the problems. And so, Europe, although they had a Reformation up there, they went and now they call themselves secular nations and so forth. And America has been able to abandon the religious thing, and now it's not a Christian nation, it's just whatever. And Beck and these people will argue that we should not be a Christian nation. This Christianity doesn't have to be a tyrant. We don't have to persecute other people who do not share our views. But this is what is the underpinning of capitalism and democracy. So as folks become evil and folks move away from God and the Bible, then what they're going to be doing, because look, for example, what Glen Beck is doing. Look what the Tea Party is doing. They are assaulting the government. They're trying to throw out the people that have experience just for throwing out sake. And they're doing things that will make people get angry and want to get to become a police state and try to lock them up and all that. And again, the guys on Wall Street, what they're doing in the economic, the housing market and all this kind of stuff. So I don't know if this guy should be taken serious. And furthermore, he has a whole bunch of Russians on his show. And what I have a problem with these Russians is that people, when they're harassed by the nation, they leave and they go somewhere else. Look at all these people across the country here. They came out of Asia, they came out to Latin America, they came out from everywhere, and they were crying, "Oh, my people beating me out." But as soon as they get positioned, they want to eat the foods from back home, they want to send the money back home, they want to buy the cars from back home. So that there's something deep down there. When you beat them up, there's love you in a very deep way and a subconscious way. So that these Russians who you have as economists talking about our economy and so forth, they might be envious, and they may still support the Soviet Union and the communism and all that, and so they're just beating us up and playing games. So you got to watch that carefully. On the other hand, when Americans go abroad, they seem to fall in with the local culture, and they don't want to import American cars and American foods. They just go along with the type of thing that they have over there and survive. So if we want to avoid serfdom, as according to them, it's not the approach they're taking. We have to go back to the founding fathers' principles, in which the Bible is an important document, and people have accepted the Lord and following the laws of the land and respecting one another. This is the only way you're going to avoid any slavery or anything that he's talking about. And so if you want to have capitalism, people have to be Christians. You give a guy your money to invest, he's going to invest it according to instructions. He's not going to play games with your money. He's not going to try to kill you to take your money. He's not going to spend your money. You just put it the way you say it. You're going to pay him what you agreed to, and you're going to move on. They're going to follow the law. They will operate responsibly. And in elections, they're not going to just saying anything, and if a guy doesn't qualify, he just come on because he's popular and he has no experience or abilities or anything. So this is what Glen Beck needs to look at.